Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast.
We're all set up here down this creek bottom. Bean Buck's been in here a bunch of times, so good chance to see it on him.
Meh. Smoked him. I think he just crashed, bro. Absolute money, dude. It's 76 degrees out. We just set up 80 yards from a buck and killed him at 18 yards.
Here we are. We're set up on a scrape that's been absolute fire for the last 8 days. We know a shooter went in here to bed this morning.
Matt. I smoked his ass tonight. You get it? That was at 8, dude. That's at 8.
Bucked out October 28th. Homie's up for the rest of November. Absolute incredible season. Both kills on hanging hunts, right on the beds. And just making it happen.
Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast, coming in your ear holes, and man, we are discouraged today. Absolutely discouraged. Let me get into the people that make this possible, get into the show. So if you guys aren't familiar with Exodus and their mobile cams, the Render, I believe it's the best mobile cam on the market. And the buck that we're going to talk about tonight, I had hitting a scrape 2 days ago on mobile cam on video. And it's a buck I called JoJo. And the reason I'm demoralized is I seen him going to bed this morning about 9:30. Went in there tonight. It's hot. Everybody says I'm wasting my time, etc. And that buck come out that bedding area and came into 40 yards, 42 yards, and I hit a limb. And my arrow went about 4 or 5 foot above him and had a luminoc on it. I couldn't even find it after I got down and looked for it, but he blew out of there. The limb was, luckily, the limb was 10 foot in front of him. He was coming in, edging my wind on the backside, and I just, he went through one shooting lane, went to the second one, and they stood there, and I was like, okay, this is my shot. If I would have just waited to the next shooting lane, I could have had a clean shot on him, but a limb probably about the size of my finger was there, and one of those that go, up out of the tree and then splits, and I hit it right there about the split and broke the limb, and my arrow went flying. Like I said, I couldn't even find the arrow after the shot. Buck blew out of there and then stood up, 90 yards away and started blowing and took off, but just missed a 160-inch deer. So, but this morning I went in there on him in the pinch, and he came through right on the property line at 9:30, 9:15 in the morning. Went back in there. Only deer I seen. And then tonight when I was in there, that was the only deer I seen. Also was that buck. But I figured he was going to come in and work this scrape that was 20 yards away from me. But he come in, went down the draw, come up. And the video, I only got his feet coming into the field. But he went edged out into this little pasture field, basically trying to scent check all the timber that I was in. And the cam that I've been getting on is in the bottom of that, north of there, and he was probably 10 feet from my scent cone when I shot. I probably could have let him get to that next shooting lane, but he's gigantic, has like a flyer drop tine, probably 5-6 inches, kickback G2, 10-pointer, 60 class deer. Nice brows, and you only get so many opportunities a season. That could have been my one opportunity to make it happen, but good hunt. Like I said, I was close to where that deer was bedded, and that's what you got to do on these hunts. But like I said, it was 72 today, and that mature deer was out, just not hitting scrapes. He was just cruising, working that area before dark. So first time I encountered that deer. It's the first year on this property, and I should have had him killed. This is the first time I've missed a buck in 7 years. So it, man, it hurts bad. Had to come home and tell the kids that I missed, and got in the truck, and man, I was just, like crushed. But you only get so many opportunities a year, and I put myself in the right spot. Deer come in, everything's working out, and then, the stuff that you have to do, that shot, and this is a hanging hunt, but there's plenty of shooting, and I should have just waited. I should have took him in that first shooting lane because I was drawn on him, or I should have took him in that third shooting lane, which, it's just like the 3 shooting lanes are all 10 foot apart. It's real close, and there's just one tree that splits that's probably, calf size, and that's one of the finger size limbs that I hit on that deer. But luckily, I didn't wound him. The arrow soared way above him. Had a luminoc on it. Like I said, I couldn't even find the arrow anywhere. One thing about the way I shot him was he was almost level with me because he was so much higher than me, but he didn't have a clue I was there. But, all right, sorry about that pause. My kid was saying something, and the other seat here, and then I asked him what he wanted, and he said, "You missed him." I'm like, "Yeah, I know I missed him, dude." But I'm going to get my buddy Garrett on the line here and see how his night went. But do not hunt. Like I said, mornings are better, but those evenings, if you can get where you close to bedding, these bucks are still up and moving. It is November, so I'm going to go in and hunt that deer tomorrow morning. I'm not going to let it discourage me. I know I did booger him up a little bit, so I don't know how good it will be, but there's a lot of other deer that are working that same pinch, so I'm going to go in there tomorrow and keep hunting and keep trying to do the best I can. But, yeah, sorry I let you guys down. I let myself down. I let my kids down. But it's just hunting, man, and just watching that luminoc fly and go way over him like that is just absolutely devastating. You only get so many shots at a buck, but you only get so many shots at 160 class deer with the drop tine flyer thing and kickback G2s and giant frame. Right when I seen him probably 90 yards away, and I was like, oh, that's him. Come right out of the bedding that he went into this morning. So he's still out there, still alive, still a lot of season left to get him, but man, it burns right now because I should be getting ready to go get my kids and track a 160-inch deer. So, all right, let's get Garrett on the phone. All right, I got Garrett on tonight, man. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, I know the energy at the beginning of this podcast is extremely low. So I just told you what had happened here when I called you before you hopped on. So what are you seeing out there for the rut? What do you got going on?
Well, my rutcation begins Thursday afternoon and runs through the 14th. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't try to push it to early November, just because we do have some warm weather. But your encounter tonight is just proof that time of year trumps weather, hands down. What I saw this last weekend, what I'm seeing on cameras and talking to guys, is that the big deer are beginning to become more active. Testosterone is rising. They're starting to shy away from the scrapes and beginning to seek a little bit more. I think you're going to find more and more bucks, and specifically mature deer, bouncing from bedding to bedding. And I think we're 4 to 7 days away from absolute prime time here in the Midwest. So if you took this week off, don't get discouraged because of the heat. Some of my best hunts have been when it's abnormally warm. Just focus on that first hour of light, the last hour of light, and don't dismiss a day of hunting just because it's warm. That's what I've got for the next 3 to 4 days.
All right. Yep. That's what I'm saying too. If you can get tight to those bedding areas in the afternoon and hunt those travel corridors in the morning, the mornings are going to be better. But like I said, I've seen this buck going in this morning, and then I actually called you and game planned. What I'm like, this is where I think he's bedding, and it's because it's hot. He's going down to this bottom. It'd be cool down there. He's got water. That's the direction he was coming. And then I texted you tonight. I said pinch or corn, and you said pinch, and I was like, well, that's where I'm gonna go. I was pretty much planning on going to the pinch because I left my camera arm, my bow hooks, all that in that tree.
Yep.
But I was just thinking, man, maybe something pulled deer to that corn. But I only seen that buck this morning and that buck this afternoon. That is it. It's the only deer I've seen all day.
Wow. But I mean, I know you got a sour stomach right now, but kudos to you, man. You went in for that deer. You saw him both times. I mean, that right there is success in itself. Like I think you made the right decision to go into this morning. You made the right decision to hunt again tonight. I mean, if you're hunting on a food source, now you have to realize that you're hunting a food source that's going to have does, because the bucks aren't going there to feed.
Mm-hmm. They
might graze a little bit, but their primary objective is going to go to check does.
Yeah.
And before long, those does are going to get pestered enough where they're going to start shying away. They're going to be a little more timid to go out in the open in those food sources. It's typical rut habitat. But, dude, you hit it on the head. Like, rub some dirt on it, go back in there and kill them, and it'll feel that much better.
Oh, God. Yeah. But, yeah, this deer, he ran past 4 open scrapes, didn't even acknowledge that they were there, and then was literally headed right to one that's 15 yards away from my stand that was wide open, hoof prints in it this morning, and faded to the downwind side of that. And in my mind, I never thought that's where I'm going to shoot a deer. Like, on the open edge of a hayfield, when it's 72 degrees for the high. Like, but that just goes to show you the time of year, man. But that deer came right out of that bedding, just trotting. And I know he come out of that bedding because remember I said that drop off?
Mm-hmm.
He just come right up that drop off, hop the fence, right out in the middle of that hayfield, trotting across it. I'm like, pfft. And then I was like watching him. I'm like, there's no way he's going to go north into the open bean field because there's no deer. He knows there's no deer up there. He can see all the way up there. He worked right to me. I thought he was going to come in 15, 20 yards, but right at the end, he faded just a touch south. And that wind was south, but my thermals might have been pulling a little bit towards that bottom,
Right.
So I had that in my mind. But like I said, I when a lot of stuff go into your mind when a buck's trotting in and the whole encounter's a minute long and you see him from 100 yards out. I only lost visual of him for about 4 seconds when he was in the bottom. And he was, you know how that bucks are when they're kind of trotting through the timber doing that head bob, dodging limbs and shit. He was moving, He was cruising through there and just like I said, I thought he'd seen my truck, and that's the only reason he stopped, or I would have stopped him at the next shooting lane. But I got down there and stood where he was as I was looking for my arrow that is non-existent. It must have disintegrated. I have no idea where it went.
Well, look in the trees.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably where it's at. I didn't look there. But, I mean, it's ankle, shin-high grass that's kind of, sparse with leaves in it. I'm like, a red luminox or nocturnal should be shining out in this thing like crazy. But, nope. But, yeah, I mean, like you said, you can kill them right now. You just got to be out there. So, like I said, I talked to you earlier in the year about this is my year. Been 7 years. I keep saying it every year. One of these years, I'm going to mess up, not kill a buck, mess up on a big one. So, you only get so many encounters. So, hopefully the deer gods bless me with another encounter this rutcation, but I'm going to load up the quiver again and go after it.
In the words of Cody Jenkins in the most recent episode we put out, you have to will it to happen, dude.
Yeah.
You can just keep your head up. You got a ton of time left. The best hunting is yet to come.
Yeah.
You got the monkey off your back. You got your mulligan. Full steam ahead, man.
All right, brother. I appreciate you coming on.
Good luck, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Later. All right, well, there you have it, guys. If you can get out there and hunt, the bucks are moving. Not the story that I wanted to bring to you guys. Not my normal story. Like I said, I let the kids down. I let myself down. Let you guys down. Should be sharing the story of how I hammered this, 160-inch buck with a drop tine, and been G2. Jojo gave me the slip. He has no idea how close he was to death. So, all right, love you guys. Always try to do the right thing. Try to leave a legacy, and Whitetail Legacy is out.